8,000 people climb a sacred mountain, not to pray, but to cheat on their spouses with strangers, because their gods command it. Welcome to Mount Kemukus, Indonesia, home of the Pon Festival. The ritual the government tried to ban and failed. Every 35 days, married men and women hike to the summit. The rules? Unforgiving. Find a partner who is not your husband or wife. Climb together. Perform an intimate act on sacred ground. Then return. 6 more times. Same forbidden partner. Same mountain. Miss even one cycle. And the magic breaks. The prosperity vanishes. They call it Pon, a ritual where adultery isn't just permitted, it's required. Where sex with a stranger becomes a pathway to wealth, success, and divine favor. Where the forbidden fruit must be eaten repeatedly, again and again. The mountain doesn't judge, the ritual doesn't pause, and the believers do not question. A silent agreement hangs in the dusk air. Wives know, husbands allow, everyone participates. And when the 35th day returns, they pack their bags and climb anyway. The trail fills with footsteps, stepping away from everything they once promised. Because to them, betrayal isn't a sin, it's an investment. An investment in prosperity, in blessings, in a future they believe only infidelity can unlock. When your ancestors say adultery equals abundance, marriage vows suddenly become optional until someone tried to intervene. In 2014, the Central Java governor officially banned the ritual. Health officials linked it to rising STD and HIV cases. But still, the pilgrims climbed. Thousands continued to participate during peak cycles. And since the government couldn't stop it, they simply looked the other way. A mountain of secrets, a ritual of forbidden devotion. And yet, this is only the first one. If you think climbing a mountain to cheat is extreme, wait until you meet the tribe where husbands willingly watch another man steal their wife and cheer for him to succeed. Welcome to Niger and the Wodaabe Wife-Stealing Festival. From the misty mountains of Indonesia, we drop straight into the scorching deserts of Niger, a place where the rules of love, loyalty, and marriage flip upside down. Here, Wodaabe men paint their faces, dress themselves in dazzling ornaments, and dance for hours, all for one shocking purpose: to steal another man's wife. Yes, a married woman can leave her husband for another man during the festival, and the original husband must stand there and accept it. In most cultures, adultery is a crime, a breaking point, a betrayal. But here, it is celebration. It is beauty. It is ritual. Picture this: the Sahara Desert, 110 degrees, men standing in a perfect line, wearing more makeup than a runway show, cheeks glowing, eyes outlined, hair braided like royalty. But this isn't vanity. This isn't fashion. This is war. A battle of beauty. A competition to take another man's wife. Every September, the Wodaabe people of Niger gather for the Gerewol festival. 7 days, 7 nights, where unmarried men, and married ones too, enter something they call the wife-stealing ceremony. They paint their faces for hours: yellow ochre, red clay, black coal, every color chosen to make their features explode under the sun. They braid their hair, they crown themselves in towering headdresses, and then they dance for hours in blistering heat, rolling their eyes to show the whites, baring their teeth to prove strength, chins high, bodies swaying in perfect rhythm. Why? Because the women are watching. And if a woman sees something she likes, a glance, a smile, a spark, she can simply walk away with him. Even if she already has a husband waiting in the crowd, the husband cannot stop her, cannot shout, cannot object. It is the law of the festival. It is tradition. And this is not myth, not exaggeration. This happens every single September in a desert village called Ingal. In the end, only one thing matters. Who is the most beautiful man? Because in Wodaabe culture, beauty is power, beauty is destiny, and beauty is the ability to steal someone else's wife. But at least the Wodaabe wait until adulthood to test desire. At least they let people choose. Now imagine a place where teenagers are taken into ceremonial huts and guided in the intimate practices of adult life by tribal elders through hands-on instruction. Welcome to Mangaia, deep in the Cook Islands, where becoming an adult meant entering a tradition so extreme, most people today refuse to believe it existed. Picture this. A boy reaches adolescence. In most cultures, he'd learn to fish, to farm, to build. But in Mangaia, he receives a mentor, an older woman, experienced, respected, whose singular purpose is unmistakable, to transform him into a master of intimacy. Not through books, not through talk, through direct, hands-on, relentless training. Night after night, week after week, she teaches technique, timing, endurance, control, how to read a woman's body like a map, how to prioritize her pleasure above everything else. Because in Mangaian culture, a man who couldn't satisfy a woman wasn't ready for adulthood. He wasn't worthy of marriage. He wasn't a man. The training was brutal, specific, nothing left to chance. If he failed, he trained again and again, until he achieved what society demanded. Women were raised with equal clarity, to expect excellence, to choose partners based on skill, not status, to refuse any man who didn't meet the standard. Anthropologist Donald Marshall documented it all in the 1970s. His research revealed something shocking. Mangaian women reported the highest satisfaction rates he had ever recorded. The system worked. Here, wealth didn't matter, strength didn't matter, family name didn't matter. Only one thing decided your worth: your ability to deliver pleasure. But if you think that's shocking, wait until you hear what happens when a stranger enters a Himba village. Because in the deserts of Namibia, hospitality doesn't mean offering food. It means offering your wife. Welcome to the Himba people, one of Africa's last semi-nomadic tribes, where a tradition called Okujapisa Omukazendu still survives in the most remote villages. The offering of the wife. Here's how it works. A guest arrives, exhausted, starving, barely alive after days crossing the brutal desert heat. You welcome him, feed him, give him water, and then you offer him something else, your wife, for the night. This isn't rape, it isn't coercion. The wife can refuse, but the offer must be made. Because in Himba culture, your wife is the most valuable thing you possess. Offering her proves respect, trust, an unbreakable bond between families. Refusing, that's the insult, not just to the guest, to his ancestors, his bloodline, his honor. Ethnographers have documented this for decades. They've interviewed women, husbands, guests, and what shocks outsiders most? Many Himba see nothing wrong with it. To them, this isn't about sex. It's about generosity at its most extreme, about proving that even your closest relationships matter less than honor. The tradition is fading, modernization creeps in, Christianity spreads. Younger generations reject it. But in the deepest desert villages, where the old ways still hold power, it happens. A husband offers, a wife decides, a guest accepts or declines. And the next morning, life continues as if nothing extraordinary occurred. Because to the Himba, it wasn't extraordinary, it was duty. But if you think offering a wife as hospitality is extreme, prepare yourself. Welcome to Papua New Guinea, where adultery doesn't end in divorce. It ends in compensation so shocking, so deliberate, it's written into law. Papua New Guinea, 1988. The Adultery and Enticement Act passes. Cheating on your spouse becomes a legal debt, not a crime. A transaction. 1,000 kina, roughly $250. That's the price of betrayal. The case goes to a village court. Community elders hear the evidence. Witnesses testify. The guilty party pays. Cash, pigs, valuables, whatever restores balance. Because in the highlands, adultery isn't just personal. It's social disruption, a fracture in communal harmony. You sleep with someone's husband? You've damaged order. Compensation restores it. You seduce someone's wife? You've created imbalance. Payment heals the wound. This isn't hidden. This isn't folklore. This is law. Enforced. Public. Official. District courts can award the full 1,000 kina. Village courts handle smaller amounts. The wronged spouse receives payment in front of the entire community. Public acknowledgement, public resolution, public closure. No lawyers, no custody battles, no years of silent resentment, just payment, witnesses, healing. And the most shocking part? It works. Communities that follow this system have lower divorce rates. Families stay intact. Children remain protected. Because when betrayal carries a price, people think twice. When compensation heals instead of punishment destroying, society survives. These aren't primitive customs, they're survival strategies. And they force us to ask, who really decides what marriage means? From Papua New Guinea, we now cross to Cambodia. Welcome to the Kreung tribe, where marriage choice and tradition converge inside the legendary courtship huts. Finally, we travel to Cambodia. Here, parents do something that would make the world recoil in surprise. They build huts, private, designated spaces, traditional, for their daughters of marriageable age, to meet potential suitors in the Kreung tribe, Ratanakiri province, deep in the jungle, where modernity hasn't fully arrived. When a young woman reaches adulthood, her father builds her a small structure near the family home. 4 walls, a door, a space for courtship, and her mother whispers, something remarkable. You choose your own husband. Young men from the village can visit during appropriate hours. Meet, talk, get to know each other. She decides who she'll consider, who she'll meet again, who she'll never see again. This isn't rebellion, it's tradition, because the Kreung discovered what most cultures refuse to admit: forced marriages destroy families. If a woman doesn't choose her partner, if she doesn't understand compatibility, if she doesn't know what she needs in a life partner, she'll choose wrong. And wrong choices create generational trauma. So, they give her power. The power to meet suitors, to know her own heart, to discover what she truly values in a partner. And when she finds him, the one who makes her feel safe, respected, chosen, she makes her decision known. No elaborate ceremony required, no forced arrangement. Her choice becomes her marriage. As modernization creeps in, the tradition fades. But in villages, untouched by outside judgment, the courtship huts still stand. And young women still hold their destiny in their own hands. From mountaintops, where marriage customs differ, to deserts, where hospitality traditions vary, to nations, where partnership rules change, to jungles, where daughters choose their own husbands. These aren't primitive rituals. They are mirrors. reflecting. What we fear to admit, normal, is negotiable. Morality is cultural. And the most shocking tradition of all might be our own. Which tradition made you question everything? Drop your answer below. Subscribe for more truths the world doesn't want you to see.